Convention fervour continues in the country as Rashtriya Prajatantra Party elects its new leadership today. In the meantime, the government's timing of calling the winter session that coincides with General Convention of ruling Nepali Congress has drawn all attention as the ratification of the much-debated MCC bill coupled with Supreme Court standoff remain the bone of contentions surrounding national politics. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. The ruling alliance leaders themselves view the summoning of winter session is to suit the interest of the government to endorse MCC deal and settle the Chief Justice dispute. The leadership faction and portal panel contesting the Nepali Congress Provincial Convention. Rashtriya Prajatantra Party to elect a new leadership today. As war escalates, Ethiopia closes schools for a week so pupils can harvest crops for those on the front lines of the civil war. And two matches scheduled for today at the Martyrs Memorial 8 Division League. Manang Marsyangdi sees Sankata in the first match and RT to clash against Jasol in the second. The government called for the winter session of the parliament less than 24 hours after issuing 6 ordinances on Thursday. The ruling alliance leaders themselves have called the timing of the winter session is to suit the interest of the government to endorse MCC deal and settle the Chief Justice dispute. The calling for the winter session, a day after issuing 6 ordinances, has been viewed as a ploy to endorse bills to the liking of the government. The leaders from the ruling alliance have admitted the government's intention of ratifying the much-debated MCC agreement through the parliament. The US official Donald Lu, who visited Nepal 2 weeks ago, had urged top-notch leaders here for their support in the endorsement of MCC. Likewise, on the day when the winter session convenes on 14th of December, the MCC headquarters in the US is also scheduled to discuss the agenda, which according to analysts could be more than just a coincidence. The main opposition, CPN-UML, has meanwhile hinted at continuing with its obstruction at the parliament. Lawmakers from the ruling coalition have said that efforts are underway to impeach Chief Justice Cholendra Samsher Rana and remove him from the Supreme Court's top post. Leaders from Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Center during an interaction hosted by Supreme Court Bar Association stated that the winter session has already been summoned and that the Chief Justice issue would be discussed at the Parliament. The ruling lawmakers viewed that asking for the resignation of the Chief Justice made no sense at this point. Meanwhile, senior advocate Badri Bahadur Karki opined that it was inexcusable on behalf of the Chief Justice to interfere at the Supreme Court regular works, even as he failed to attend office due to illness. Likewise, former Justice of the Supreme Court Balaram Kesi said that Chief Justice Rana should be barred from entering his office, a step he said was now necessary to prevent CJ Rana from tampering with evidences. Now, the leadership faction of ruling Nepali Congress and Ramchandra Paudel panel are contesting at the provincial convention for a new leadership. The leadership faction and Paudel faction have formed separate panels and registered their nominations. Uddhav Thapa has filed his candidacy from the leadership faction in Province 1. Thapa, who has the support of Krishna Prasad Sitola group, is challenged by Gururaj Khemire of Paudel faction. Bagmati province has seen 3 contestants for the post of provincial president. Indra Bania from leadership faction, Jagdish Narsingh Kesi from Paudel faction and Bhimsen Das Pradhan from Sitola faction are in the fray. Arjun Prasad Joshi represents leadership faction while he is challenged by Paudel panel's Shukraraj Sharma. Bharat Kumar Shah has filed his candidacy from leadership faction in Lumbini, Lalit Jang Shahi in Karnali and Bir Bahadur Balayar in Sudur Paschim. Paudel faction represents Amar Singh Pun in Lumbini, Bhupendra Jang Shahi in Karnali and Narayan Datta Mishra in Sudur Paschim. The election process in Province 2 is yet to commence. 2 groups have registered their candidacy with their panels for the party's new leadership in the ongoing General Convention of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party. Leader Kamal Thapa and Rajendra Lingden have presented their candidacy fielding 2 panels. Both the groups have claimed Bikram Pandey being their candidate for vice chairperson. Pandey has not revealed his affiliation with any panel despite the registration of his candidacy. Out of the 4 vice chairperson, other 3 candidates are Buddhiman Tamang, Dhruva Pradhan and Roshan Karki from Thapa faction. Bhuvan Pathak, Bhaskar Bhadra and Kunti Shah have registered their candidacy from Thapa faction, vying for the post of General Secretary. Likewise, Lingden faction, Ramchandra Raya, Dilbikas Raj Bhandari and Leela Shrestha have registered their candidacy for Vice Chairperson. Shyam Timal Sinha and Rekha Thapa has registered their candidacy from Lingden faction for the post of General Secretaries. Meanwhile, other candidates for office bearers have stressed on the need for the agreement. The voting is to begin from 9 a.m. today as 149 Central Working Committees being elected, while the remaining 50 members will be nominated by the chairperson. The Qatar government has expressed its commitment in implementing the basic facilities and services of migrant workers. The Joint Technical Committee meeting held in Kathmandu also decided on revising the 16-year-old Labour Pact between Nepal and Qatar. As per the amendment, Qatar has agreed to provide migrant labourers minimum wage scale, insurance and all the facilities determined by labour law. Vice Secretary of Labour, Employment and Social Security Ministry Thaneshwar Bhushal informed that the two sides have also dwelt on making those labourers who return from Qatar and those who were compelled to return due to health issues self-employed in Nepal. The draft finalized by the Joint Technical Committee meeting would be discussed at the ministerial level to reach an agreement. According to the Department of Foreign Employment, around 300,000 Nepali labourers are currently working in Qatar. Nepali migrant workers have been in the receiving end due to the reluctance of employers to provide pledged amount despite the Qatar government setting a minimum wage scale, short-term labour contracts and human resource companies' misconducts. The effects of the westerly winds have caused a dip in mercury across the nation in the recent days. Rainfall was recorded in several parts of the country last night. According to the Weather Forecasting Division, the effects of the Jawad Ocean hurricane in the mid-western region of Bay of Bengal will cause for the weather to partially change in the country. Province 1 and 2 reported of changes in weather, while hilly and mountainous region is likely to witness snowfall. The effects of the westerly winds is expected to subside Monday onwards. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked in all the 7 provinces what precautions should be adhered to as precautions against new COVID variant. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
साबुन पानीले मिति मिति 20 सेकेन्ड हात धुने
सैनिटाइजर प्रयोग गर्ने हेलचक्रे पनलाई हामीले चाहिँ नि ठक्कै चाहिँ नि छोड्नु पर्छ
तातो पानी खाने मास्कहरु लगाउने
जुन देशमा बढी संक्रमित छन् त्यो देशबाट आउनेहरुलाई अनिवार्य सरकारले क्वारेन्टाइनमा राखेर उनीहरुको चेक जाँच गराएर भित्र छिराउने
सामाजिक दूरी कायम गरेर गाडीहरुमा बस्ने गर्ने व्यवस्था मिलाउनु पर्ने
भिडभाडमा चाहिँ नजाने
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on the National Inclusive Commission's failure to work against the expectation? Your options are A, lack of expertise, B, dual jurisdiction, and C, no planning. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update. Two matches have been scheduled under the Martyrs Memorial A Division League today. In the first match, scheduled for 11 a.m. at Dashrath Stadium, winners of 2075 season Manang Marsyangdi will see runners-up Sankata. Manang is looking to maintain its winning streak, having won both of its matches so far in the tournament. Sankata, meanwhile, has won 1 and played a draw, collecting 4 points from 2 matches. In the previous encounter, Manang had won over Sankata by 3-0. The second match of the day will see Chiasol Youth Club up against New Road Team NRT. Chiasol has won 1 and lost 1 match in the tournament so far. The match will kick off at 4:45 p.m. later today. The live telecast of both the matches can be watched in Kantipur television. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.